Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today is video number 16 and we are going to be looking at Will Tennyson's original recipe for an apple fritter donut. I'll link his video down below. I made a couple tweaks to make it a little bit lower in calorie and it still tastes absolutely phenomenal. So I can't wait to share this with you guys. For those who are new, my name is Jake and I love to provide content related to financials, physical and mental health to help students and or individuals progress along their journey. So without further ado, let's hop into this amazing recipe and I'll see you in the dorm kitchen. Peace. Welcome back to the kitchen everybody. Let's hop right into this donut. So the first ingredient you're going to need is some flour. And you're just going to use 1/5 of a cup and or 30 grams of this normal all white all-purpose flour. So I just have my trusty food scale and weigh out 30 grams. The next ingredient you're going to need is 30 grams of a protein powder, and this can be any flavor of your choice, but preferably go with the vanilla or a cinnamon variation if you have any. I'm using this Quest Cinnamon Crunch and it works perfect for this recipe. So if you have that, a cinnamon option available to you, definitely go with it. If not, vanilla works just fine. 24 grams of the Swerve brown sugar. Me personally, I've done research and found that there's just as much evidence showing that there are no unhealthy side effects of consuming these types of sugars. So I am comfortable using them, but if it is against your will, I guess use brown sugar, but that would change the total calories by the end of this recipe. So 24 grams of brown sugar. Our next ingredient is going to be a tablespoon of butter, and this is where I make a micro change. In the original recipe, they just use normal butter, which you can totally do. But what I'm doing instead is using the light butter made with canola oil, and you're going to use 1 tablespoon and or 14 grams, a teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, so go ahead and throw that in. We're going to add some cinnamon, and to be honest, I don't really weigh this out, I just kind of added them out to the desired flavor I want. I would just kind of go like 1, 2, 3, and if you want a little bit more, add a little bit more. I don't measure that, just making that obvious. And now it is time to cut up an apple and throw your apple in. So we've now added all our dry ingredients into the bowl, and you can go ahead and mix this up. It's going to be a very dry consistency. It's not going to be into a dough yet, but just kind of basically coat the apples, mix up the ingredients, and just kind of get it to where, I don't even know, Will describes it as a dry sand, and I guess that's the best analogy. I'll show you when mine's done. It's kind of, you kind of see what we're working with. Definitely not a dough, but it is the foundation to what we're going to be using. So now that we have our dry apple-y sand mix, go ahead and take some fat-free Greek yogurt and add 42 grams. This is where it'll kind of turn into a little bit more of a doughy fashion. But what can be a little tricky about this, and what you'll probably need to do is, if you just use a spatula, you're going to see you're still going to have all this you can see you're still going to have all this dry sand consistency. So the best thing is to get your hands dirty and just literally, I know you don't want to do this, but start really incorporating the ingredients together. It's kind of dry and squeeze almost. And if you keep doing this, after a couple of minutes, it'll come into a dough, and I'll show you when we're at that point. Now after a couple of minutes of just mixing it with your hand, you can see we now have a much more dough-like consistency ball. So this is kind of what you want. You kind of squeeze it, it's a nice ball, and your hand's gonna be a mess. And at this point, taste the batter, see how it is, it's delicious. Well, the dough, sorry, it's delicious. And now, we're gonna turn these into 2 shapes of donuts and throw them on a cooking tray, and I'll see you when we're there. So hit it with some nonstick, and then I usually just rub it around, make sure we're good. So get pan covered with nonstick, and then you're going to take your apple fritter, and you're just going to kind of shape it into the donut. So I just kind of like push it down a little bit, kind of like form the edges. So you just get a nice little donut shape like this, and then place it down in the pan. And then take the other remaining half and rinse and repeat. Now take your donuts and bake at 375 for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how strong your oven is. apple fritters are done. Again, bake at 375 and the time really depends. I would just watch until they get a nice golden brown on the top. For me, it took around 8.5 minutes, but mine kind of cooks a little bit faster, my Ninja Foodie. Now we're going to top them off with icing, and there are multiple ways you can do this. For me, I'm going to use that same protein powder that I already showed you guys, that Cinnamon Quest protein. Put a little bit, like literally maybe a gram of it inside of a little bowl, and then just add a little bit of water so you get like a nice, I'll show you the consistency, but you just want a nice glaze consistency. And then with that glaze, you can just pour it on top. And voila. Those are 2 apple fritter donuts, done, finished, ready to go. With the glaze, you can do what I did with the protein powder. You can use the Swerve confectioner's sugar if you have that. It's more of like a powdered sugar taste. You could do anything you want. You could do PB2 with a little bit of water and drizzle some peanut butter on the top. Get creative, have fun with it, make the donuts your own. But without further ado, let's have a little taste test. We're now into the part that I'm most excited about, which would be the taste test. And just to give you a little bit of reference, that whole entire batch, those 2 donuts, it's 375 calories total, much lower in fat, much higher in protein. I'll put the macros on the screen right here so you can see. Please share this recipe with your friends, give it a go, leave a comment down below how you liked it. I'm gonna give my first bite right now. So cheers to the apple fritter, a healthy version. It's so good. You have to try this for yourself. It is literally so good. But that was today's video. I look forward to seeing you next week. Let me know what you think and have a great week. Happy Sunday. Peace out, y'all.